Guys are head of the Panthers Inc. organization. Tell everybody, first start with Mike, what this is all about and how long you guys have been doing it.
So we started in like 2022, just a youth organization here for Charles City Sports, just trying to get back to the community, bring all our sports back here in Charles City County, and try to start our kids from here and work up to high school.
And talk about it. It's the football and softball,
Yeah,
correct?
so we got football, softball, baseball, and basketball. We also offer cheer, and hopefully to expand. We're looking to expand, trying to bring wrestling back here in Charles City County, and different sports like that.
Lucas, from your perspective, what has this meant to the county and for the kids?
So what I'm seeing, because before we started it, we saw a lack of youth sports in the county, to be honest with you. And me and Mike, we've been to all the places and we've seen, things that should be brought to our attention. And we know we need a feeder program to our high school. So that was me and Coach Logan's thought the entire time when we were coming up. So hopefully when these kids come up to high school, they got the experience and not just the first time they touch the field and all that. And it's building unity within the school. It's building, making them accountability. It's they getting better grades. We check all those things with our girls, with our basketball team, football team, and cheer. So it's all little small things that we're trying to do that other counties are doing, but Charles City was kind of lacking, and we trying to step up to the plate and make all the kids great.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Robb Johnson, Robb Johnson Sports Show, episode 100. I got two good guests with me right here. I want you guys to introduce yourselves.
I'm Mike Logan, coach of football and softball here at Charles City, and the president of the Panthers organization here in Charles City County. Graduated in 03 here, was all-state running back, played football and baseball here at Charles City County, was all-region in both. Went on to play college football for 2 years. Other than that, pretty much played semi-pro for a couple of teams, trying to coach at different locations. I was fortunate enough to coach at Light Christian for 3 years. I coached in New Kent for 6 years for football, and back here in Charleston, and trying to turn things around.
Introduce yourself, brother.
All right, how y'all doing? I'm Luke Jones, class of 99 Charles City. I'm the vice president of Panthers Inc. JV varsity softball coach in Charles City right now, currently. Let's see, in high school, all region, baseball, all district basketball with 4 years, both sports. Also 7 years of varsity coaching experience at Deep Run. Was out there 6A school, 5A school at the time. Did about 7 years, different experience. But it's also like to bring these experiences back to Charles City. That was one of my biggest things. But that's pretty much my role, my rundown of my career so far. Actually, I coached in high school at Charles City back in Coach Logan. I coached Coach Logan in his senior year.
He coached me.
Yeah, coach you too, right? Yeah, coach me. So I'm coming back home. That was my biggest thing.
I thought he was going to get me to all state in baseball, then I hurt my knee, so we ain't going to talk about that right now. Coach, both of you guys, talk about what you guys just accomplished. Before we get to the questions, talk about what you guys just accomplished and what the girls accomplished. 14U state champions here in Charles City County. What can you guys say about that? We'll start with you, Coach.
All right. Well, I think 3 years ago we set out. We had a little team. I think the majority of our girls were about 11 years old, and we felt like we had a state championship softball team after going and playing a tournament in Babe Ruth when the girls was 13 years old predominantly, and we knew we can come back the next year, and we felt like we had a great chance. We felt like we should have won the state 2 years ago, and we lost in the championship game. But yeah, we was fortunate enough to pull off it this year. We was the best 14U team in the state. Was a nice accomplishment feat. I feel like a real testament to how hard the girls worked over the last 3 years, really, but especially over the last year and a half.
3 years ago, we saw something special in girls, and we finally was able to pull it off in Shenandoah Valley at the states, at the Babe Ruth States. But me and Coach Logan always said the work these girls put in, the consistency, like it wasn't easy. It was the hard work they put in. Now you got something to show for it. So it's almost like at one point it was like we need to win to show that the hard work is actually working. And a reward will help a lot of times. But the girls work hard. They don't get breaks. They don't miss practice. They don't give them time off. Man. That's one of our biggest things, man, to catch up, because the girls was 11 when we got them in. Half of them couldn't catch a ball. So we understood, me and Coach Logan at that time, we knew we couldn't take breaks like a regular team because we had to catch up with everybody else. And now I think we get to that point to catch up, and now it's time to pass.
Can you guys talk about what it takes to not be inconsistent, be consistent? It's been one of the issues with here in Charleston County. We're just being honest here. One problem being inconsistencies, especially when it comes to sports. How is it that this team and these group of girls are showing everybody you have to be consistent to win?
I think we just got a good group, to be honest. I kind of always said like we call it lightning in the bottle. I felt like we got probably like 7, 8 girls that have been with us the whole entire 3-year period that's in the same grade. I don't think they all was friends in the beginning, but they all was familiar with one another, knew each other, and I think they started to see it. I mean, we've been preaching just how good they could be to them, you know what I'm saying, all the time. And I think they started to see it and realizing it, like, that we keep it fun. Like Luke said, we really haven't took no time off in 3 years, a week here, a week there, but these girls probably been pretty much been in softball mode 11 months out of the year. And we knew that's what it takes to be successful from our experiences everywhere else. So just keeping that fun, having that group, and then, like Luke said, when you see a little bit of success in what you're doing now, I understand why Coach made me run so many hills. I understand why we practice so much, because I think they starting to see it too. I understand, okay, if I work hard on this for 6, 7 weeks at a time, then I go back to the game, now I see success, and I see myself hit the ball further than, like Luke said, we had girls that couldn't hit the ball, that couldn't really throw or play catch, and they still got a lot to work on, but they getting better every day.
So in other words, you guys are staying hungry. We're not just settling on the fact that you want a state championship. This is bigger than that. This is starting to have one of the first female teams in softball history in Charleston to actually make the playoffs. Is that what the goal is for these girls going forward?
We'll make that next year. I'm sorry, Luke, but I know.
You're excited about that.
Exactly.
It gets your blood boiling, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just had a conversation a couple of days ago with one of my kids. I coached baseball here for 2 years before I coached softball. And I told some of my baseball kids, I was like, the girls will make the playoffs when they freshmen. Like, we have a great 2029 class coming up. So we'll have the majority of our team will be freshmen this year, but we'll make the playoffs this year. And we honestly believe it, and I think they believe that.
Yes, and like speaking on that, that was one of our goals from the start. When we was 11, 12, we started seeing, Kiwanis pop. We went undefeated in that. Then everything was a step. Everything was steps. So playing in the Old Dominion League, 12 in the fall, they came runner-up in that. Then the next year, we came runner-up in that in the spring ball. So it was all that process of like, all right, once we get to 9th grade, now let's go look at the Northumberlands. Let's go look at the Rappahannock. Let's get a gauge on what we need to be. And and Coach Logan was talking about, the girls, but our parents are a little different too. Yeah. Our parents are kind of old school, kind of how we came up.
Yeah.
Holding the kids accountable. We send a practice schedule out like everybody else does on that Sunday for the entire week, and you get held accountable. Me and Coach Logan, we can say how many girls we pick up. That's the communication part of it. Not missing practice, staying consistent, because once you miss practice, somebody will pass you. It might not be here, but it's going to be at another school. That's who you're competing with.
Speaking of that, I had my questions lined up, but I'm going to go to that question for you guys. It's a good transition. How do parents' own experiences with sports influence their approach to their children's sports? If you all want to go from there with that. That was one of your questions there.
Yeah. So I think it's good and bad. If a parent has success, they typically understand what it takes to play sports. So I know I gotta sacrifice my time. Sometimes I know I gotta miss some things. I can't go to all the parties or all the fun things that my peers may do because I'm focused or dedicated to something. So I think that's one of the ways it can benefit. And I think also too, when a parent didn't play, sometimes I think it affects them in a negative way. Like they don't understand how serious or how important practice is.
Exactly.
Or like, hey, I might miss a practice a day. It's no big deal because I went to the other 2 practices this week. But at one practice with softball, one practice will get rained out and you missed the practice. Now I done missed 5 or 6 days without doing something, and that's gonna hurt you. Like especially when you're trying to catch up. Or somebody just as good, exactly. Or when somebody just as good as you, they got a chance to surpass you.
Absolutely. And it's levels of support with parents. Like of course, if you got a dad or mom that was in that grind, went through high school or college or rec or whatever they were doing playing up, they understand what it takes to be to that point. So sometimes parents are getting in the way of, when they get in the car, the conversation is different in the car. The conversation in the car should be similar to the coach if the coach is correct.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that we try to preach, and our parents, they do a good job at it.
Yeah, and they getting better with that.
And you gotta have that base, you gotta have that thing, because if mom and dad support coach, and if they preaching the same thing that coach is preaching, the athlete on the field will do so much better. If I get home and I missed the ground ball, I missed a free throw, and my dad said, you gotta hit these free throws. Coach is screaming, you gotta hit these free throws. But if I get in the car and say, hey, don't worry about the coach, don't worry about this, it's gonna be a different thing with the coach once you get back out there.
Well, again, transition, that's a good point there. How can parents support their children's athletic development without putting them under pressure? Also, not putting them too much pressure on them, but also letting them know, hey, you still need to listen to your coach, as you guys just said. I'll start with you, Coach Luke.
Me and Coach Logan probably had one of the two toughest dads.
Yeah, right.
It's very important. A lot of us grew up with tough dads, so we know how it is.
No, I think it takes a village. Like if anybody know me, know I'm a mother's boy, to be honest. But my dad was in my life, and like Luke said, it was very tough. Like my dad fussed at me yesterday during practice, and I put him on speakerphone for the girls. But he's gonna always hold me accountable, and I think that's one of the biggest things that me and Luke preach is accountability, and that expectations. When I see you, Luke said this all the time, when I see you do something right once, now I expect you to do that. So now I can hold you to that. And when your parents do that, it means that much more. Like Luke said, on the ride home, if my parents reiterating with the coach is like, okay, now I realize this is something that I need to do. This is something that I need to improve on. Instead of, to the flip side of that, always make an excuse for your kid if, hey, you didn't get that guy out today because, well, the coach shouldn't have you playing that position anyway. So now I'm deflecting what I did wrong and not holding the kid accountable in that situation. Like you always want to put your best foot forward.
And you got to read your child. So every child got a different personality, right? I got 3 girls. All of them got different personalities, right? So I coach my daughter. She's on the 14U team. And I'm coach. I'm not dad until we get home, we eat dinner. I'm dad. I turn to dad. And certain things can be said and be coached through that she could get, she understand. But at the same time, I can tear you down a little bit, but I gotta build you back up because I need you and I need that confidence. You can't play sports without confidence. That's one of my biggest things. You can't play sports without confidence.
Just talking about it.
Parents gotta keep instilling confidence, but at the same time, the kids gotta be able to take that constructive criticism because that's the only way you get better. So it's a line. You gotta find that line. I'll push them hard as I can go, but then I'm gonna build them up too because I'm gonna need you. Experience is the best thing. Like Mackenzie Tyler, one of our 14 girls in the States. She bats about, what is it, 6, Coach Owen? Bats 6. The top of the lineup, we told them the girls struggling, don't swing at the first pitch. Start a new inning. Mackenzie swung at the first pitch, ground out straight to the pitcher. Yeah. She looked at me, I said, I don't need to say nothing. You already know what it is. And that came over the experience. The next time I bat, she took the first pitch, second pitch to the line, but I won't stop the second pitch head.
Yep.
That's when you know you learn as an athlete, when you gain that experience, and that's come from coaching. The personality of your team will be from your coaches.
Exactly.
So
and we feel like that took a little bit longer, and we're still working on that, because I know that's one of the things me and Luke stressed in the beginning. It's like, man, all the teams take on the identity of the head coach, or the coaches. So like, we 2 fiery, competitive, high energy guys, especially when we playing super competitive, and it took our girls a while to get that. And that was one of the things I know we kind of, I didn't say frustrated, but they had to show patience. Like, it took a while, but I feel like they starting to get that. We starting to preach that to them, and I think, our girls are starting to make that transition.
When you guys are talking about experience, but the biggest word I heard was accountability. Define accountability, each one of you.
Accountability is just knowing yourself and being responsible for your actions, and then not shying away from that. When the toughest thing is to admit when you're wrong. That's one of the toughest things to do, or to realize your fault. But when you can see your fault and you're wrong, and then learn from that, and then hold yourself accountable, you can't lie to yourself. Now, how do I prepare myself from making that mistake again? Mm-hmm. So those are some of the things that it is for me. And so, like, the best way for me to define accountability is just owning it and stepping up in the moment.
Yeah, and like Coach Logan said, accountability. When you make that mistake, you can't make excuses. That's one of the biggest things. Like, can't make excuses. Once we make a mistake, we gotta learn from it. If you hold yourself accountable, that's the learning part of it.
That's how you grow.
That's the only way you grow. If I make that mistake and I make an excuse, I ain't gonna know how to get out of it. I'm not gonna know how to swim. We always talk, back in the day, we always talk about my dad learned how to swim. They threw him in a pond. So he had to figure a way to get out of that. It won't like, hey, I'm gonna go to the bottom and that's it. No, you gotta figure a way to swim. Mm-hmm. You hold yourself accountable, you learn from your mistake. Now the next time, say I do something that I did the previous time that I held myself accountable for, but now I know how to get out of it. Yeah. So that's one of my biggest things. Like, always don't make excuses, figure a way out how to get out of it.
How can the coaches create a positive and supportive environment for the young athletes?
I think it's the family. It's the family atmosphere. I know our girls know now that we care. At first, they probably thought we were crazy. You know, like, oh, but now it's a family atmosphere. Like, you got to be able to, like we said before, build them up, turn them down.
The biggest thing, how do we transition this to the other sports?
And the thing we would say with our girls, you know, that's what we can speak on our girls because we kind of, you know, we oversee them. It's bad for them because they don't have that older class in front of them. And they got to get thrown into a situation that they got to lead earlier than they wish they should.
Exactly. Because they had nobody to copy them in it.
Yeah, so.
In other words, your girls have the weight of the county on their shoulders. Is that fair to say right now? Because of what they're doing and what the greatness that they are potentially bringing?
Yeah, I think they got an opportunity. I mean, you can say that, but I look at it like they got an opportunity to show everybody underneath them how it should be done. And that's how we got to attack it. I think they can go out there and show because like they really had no leaders. Like they had nobody before them. You know what I'm saying? It was a couple of years, probably 3-4 years ago where we didn't even have a softball team. Yeah. I look at it as they got an opportunity to go out here and show because they all got little sisters, cousins, brothers. You can go out there and show everybody that come after you, hey, look, this is how it is. My cousin used to play softball and she used to do this, she used to practice this much. Or we'll see people pass by the road and we out there practicing and we might be on there running the hills, but hey, little kids see us too when the elementary school got out and we had practice. They see the softball team all the time. Like me and Luke speak on this all the time. Friday here in Charles City, no teams practice but us. And it'll be the elementary kids that get out of school and the bus will come right by the softball field and they see our girls out there working.
That's inspiring, right? Doesn't have to be inspiring for kids going home. Like, hey, instead of me going home, let me go to that softball, baseball field. You've been building up the baseball in this county for a long time, going back to your rec days, where you were putting up fences, doing this and doing that. So baseball, softball has been very important to you.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I'm a football guy first, but people don't realize how much I love baseball and softball. So just growing up and playing that sport, growing up taught me a lot. To interact with different people and stuff like that. Like I grew up here in Charles City, but I had the opportunity to go play Little League baseball in Verona and had some great friends, still interact with a lot of those guys, and learned a lot. Not only, Luke speak on this, not only from my experience on the field, but I remember those days being at the rec field in Verona and seeing the parents participating in the concession stand, seeing the camaraderie, all of us run around, being 8, 9, 10 years old and going with my friend at the time to go watch his big brother play 13, 15. It's like, hey, when I get up on that level, I can't wait to where the metal spikes. I can't wait to lead off and steal bases. So those are the things that we trying to instill in our girls so they can inspire the next generation how I was inspired.
Exactly. Speak on that, Luke.
Yeah, like coming up playing through from 5 years old to pretty much 30, you know, like
right. We played.
It's we played travel softball as well too, and it just builds that competitive drive. Not even just in sports, but in work, in your regular life, you always try to be the best. And one of the things we was telling the girls when they first started playing, you know, at Charles City, some of the culture is like, I'm not gonna give it my all because I don't want to be embarrassed if I lose. And I gave it my all, and my friends laughing at me out there. No, that's not gonna be the thing. That's not gonna be the part. That was never an option when we came up. I was gonna give it everything I had, and at the end of the day, if you got me, you got me because you just was better than me that moment for that 2-hour span.
Yeah.
But you know, like with me and Coach Logan coming up through different programs too. Also, he came up through Verona. I played different All Stars and played different post ball and all that type of thing. We saw different people, and we understood like, okay, they doing this here. Why we can't do this here?
Exactly.
I coached at deep run. We got all kinds of different things. Why we can't do this here? And I ain't talking about like, yeah, I know deep run is, is in short form. But the standard stuff, why we can't do, and what can we create once we get it? And once we change this culture, what can we do with this culture? Because we want to win, and not just softball. It needs to be across the board.
I mean, we discussed this before we came on camera. We talked about the 94 team, basketball team, who was number 1 team in the state.
Yep.
You know, you couldn't even think about that now. A lot of kids now, if you told a kid right now in this school that you had the number 1 team in the state in 1994, what would they tell you? What would they say to you?
They wouldn't believe it, or they just think it's back in the day.
Same thing. Like, who was on that team? Who did they play? And Like, I call it starting lineup for you because I was still a fan. Cleon Green, Justin Hayes, Marcus Carter, Lloyd Craddock, and Troy Page. Like 18 and 0.
So getting to that, let's get to this question. Has the focus of youth sports shifted over time in CC and Charles City County? And if so, how? Because we're going from #1 teams to football teams that sent guys to college that were competing with New Kent. We don't even compete with New Kent anymore. You guys competed with New Kent in the JV softball this past year. But basically, how has things shifted over time, and how does it get back?
I think, like I said, I was fortunate enough to come back and coach here in youth sports as well. I think it kind of changed just from the sense of pride in the parents it was lost, and then I felt like it probably was the people that was involved too. It had something to do with. I know I played Little League football here at 6 years old, and we made it to the championship game. And we was the only team to score on Glenby at the time.
When I was young, we played some tough.
Yeah,
we had some tough teams. I'm pretty sure some of the teams we played for Rod and Holland Springs, some of them guys went to college. I'm pretty sure.
It's definitely like I said, but I remember being, before I was 10 years old, playing Little League football here when we were still the Giants. But when I look back, it was the coaches, it was the Gil Bowmans, it was the guys that had coached us. You know what I'm saying? Like even James Brown, and I'm just trying to think of like the guys that was like coaching. Like I think the guy Fred that ran the midgets. Like every team had an outstanding coach that taught us the fundamentals. Like that's how I learned to play football. Like you know what I'm saying? Like at 6 years old. And I think like looking back on it, the parents and the coaches and the sense of pride was so much greater than I showed Luca my picture of that team maybe like a year or two ago. We had like 24 kids on my flag team.
Yeah.
Like here in Charles City, and I went to school with all those guys, but I just think it fell off. And I know I'll let Luke speak on it because it's one of the things that we talk about all the time. But one of the reasons why I think it's not the same because those people that was playing, those kids and parents, they really don't live in the county anymore. And I think about 15 years ago, if your kid had any type of talent or wanted to do something in sports, okay, if Lil Johnny was good at football, maybe I was take him over here to play football. You know what I'm saying? And then Lil Johnny never come back.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah, and that was kind of what I want to touch on. Like some of our best kids left the county and just to be regular kids in other counties.
Exactly.
And them not to the other counties not to, or the other organizations not to care for them as much as they would at Charles City because we all know like always Charles City they always say everybody can, But if you get a coach that cares for you in Charles City and you from Charles City, it's one of your own, it's more into it like, not just going back to our girls, but it's more pride in it for me because me and Coach Logan are from Charles City. We're trying to bring back to Charles City. But a lot of parents, it's their decision, but a lot of parents will try to pick the easier route, and sometimes it's not that way.
And it's not the most beneficial route. Because like I said, I think I'm gonna care about you more than the guy over there care about you. Because one, I'm gonna see you at church. I'm gonna see you at the store. Like I'm from here. I went to school with your dad. I know your mom. Like you know what I'm saying? I got more sense of pride. So I was like, so if you go play for this coach, I'm not saying he wouldn't coach you well and like you, but he's never gonna care for you as much as I care for you because of that relationship that I had with you. So like those are the things I think when we leave and go to other places, it may look easier with my son on the team that might win more games and you know what I'm saying, it looks cooler on my Instagram, but they don't care for you the way I'm gonna care for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna give you my all. I'm not gonna be willing to pick you up. And I told another kid this. I think I had a kid that played for me, and he went to Verona High School. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come see you play at Verona High School because I care about you. If you was playing at Charles City, would your coach gonna watch you play at Charles City? Those are one of the examples. Like, and then nothing against the coaches because I know the guys that coach at Verona because I grew up playing with those guys. All great guys. But it's just the level of we got to take care of our own, and I feel like we don't do that here.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons why I feel like our Little League programs have suffered, and that trickles up to your high school.
Well, I can say I started out in youth league. I think next time I started playing football, Charleston Jaguars. Then I played one level and went up to the next. It taught me how to play football. It gave me a foundation of how to play football. But somewhere along the line, we lost that. You guys brought that back. You guys really brought that back, and it's really brought out the crowds. It's developing football players. A true pipeline because we need that. Because if not, then we're not going to have the athletes we need in the future to be successful. Talk about that and what you guys did and how you're going to progress with that pipeline that you're bringing up now.
And see what we saw, Coach Logan, like what they keep running to in the high school level is you can't start to play a sport at the high school level.
When you're
If you
15,
want to
16
win,
years old, you got to start when you're, like you said, like at 6 years old.
It's too late because a lot of things I know, for speaking of my hand, I'm pretty sure Coach Logan, the things you did on the field was natural, like from experience and reps. You're doing things that you're doing just because you're trained to do that.
Yeah, I couldn't even explain it. I had to think about how to do it.
But if you're 14 and 15 and the first time you're picking up basketball, football, baseball,
It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna happen. And the expectations are still at the level as you stepping into a high school sport. And that's one of the things that I don't know if we understand, that you can't start there and expect to be successful. You know, like our expectation, like, oh, they lost again. Yeah, they lost again because they're 15 and that's the first time they ever played football. But then on top of that, when we're 5 and 6, we got to be, the biggest word is accountable. Because once you teach a 5 or 6 year old, all right, I'm coming to practice. I used to fuss at my mom every day about, I'm gonna be late for practice, mom. I'm gonna be late for practice. I'm gonna be late for practice. Because my mom and dad put that in me. And that carried over to me for life. But what we tried to do was to bring up the kids like we were brought up. Basketball, football, baseball, so on and so on, so we can feed them to the next person, to be an actual feeder program. So you have the base, you have the mold, and then the next coach should just add on to that. You can't do it at 13, 14, 15. No, I'm sorry to say it. You can't do it in sports. You can't do it. Unless you got a freak of nature, which is 1 in a million, that can pick up and do those type of things.
Talk about the work ethic. I mean, everybody wants to get on. You preached on, not preached, but you said something earlier about, things, I think social media and just like how things are now, you want to look good. Everybody wants to look good. Everybody wants to get on camera. Hey, I got my uniform on. It's still about hard work.
Yeah, it's
Football, softball, basketball, everything is all about hard work. So how do you guys continue to bring to Charles City the hard work and the work ethic that needs to be brought?
I mean, I think that's one of the hardest things we're doing now. It's a working process to bring that here. But like I said, we trying to do it the way we was in it. I know we couldn't cheat the grind. Like how my dad instilled it, I knew my dad would take me out there and I would practice for 4 to 5 hours. Sometime on the weekend, just to give you a little bit about my story. Like I remember times going to Verona Racket and practice. My dad said, "Hey, I'm gonna take you home around 6 o'clock." We'll get there at like 12. I'm like, we're gonna be here from 12 to 6. Like I'd have been out there, me and my brother, and we'll be out there practicing 4.5, 5 hours. And I'm like, yo, he's not getting tired because we're tired. But it's like looking back on those moments, I realized that was the grind, that was the process. It made it easier for me when it came to work. Like when a coach asked me to do stuff in college or high school, it was nothing tougher than what my dad put me through. So like this was easy. Like a college practice was easy compared to what my dad did.
And that's what you needed when you were in high school, when you were breaking all those huge runs.
Yeah.
And you had to play both offense, defense. You were prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody else was tired, but you were prepared.
And mentally prepared. That was one of the things me and Luke preached on too. Like I was mentally prepared because I've been through so much. This was like, I remember telling myself in those moments, like, this is nothing. This is not the hardest thing I've been through. So like when you can get through something, you know what I'm saying, it can kind of prepare you for, you know what I'm saying, what's to come.
And let me stop you there. I believe we have the talent in Charles City.
The perspective of Charles had been like that for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's been like that for a while. Even probably when we was in school, you know, like, it was still say, you know, I'm not just, that's our rival. It is our rival is New Kent. Like, it is.
It is what it is, right?
Yeah,
it is what it is.
You got to get to the point, you got to understand that's the accountability part of it. If it's a bad call against me, I got to know how to adjust to the bad call. If it's, I did this and it was off him, or they holding on this side, they didn't call it, or it's balls or strike, you got to be able to adjust to the situation, because at the end of the day, one play ain't gonna beat me. Yeah. I'll beat myself if I check out.
Yeah,
but the problem that we have is easier to check out. We want to check out because it's easier, then we make that excuse.
Yeah, we made that built to
So the accountability part, I would right there, you can't make excuses, and that's when you get mentally tougher. Like we had told our girls before, we was like, we don't win close games. We got to start winning close games, because that's when you're going to beat the good team. You're not going to beat the good teams with nothing. You know, Rob, you follow New Kent, they winning regionals and state games 2-1.
2-1, yeah.
That's mentally tough through 7 innings.
Yeah.
That's mentally tough through 7 innings. And Coach Logan always said on this part too, we can be, Charleston and New Kent can be the same as Holland Springs and Verona. They root for each other, but we rivals at the end. You know, we rivals too.
Yeah, exactly.
New can win a state, and we can win a state. But the mentally tough part, like we would beat somebody 11-0, and then we'll lose a game 7-1 or 8-1. You know,
How do you recover from that?
From that 7-1 game, that we gotta be good teams, and you gotta put it out there. The next practice gotta be harder than the game. The practice definitely gotta be harder than the game, and that's what our girls are starting to understand. Like they know the practice ain't get no. It's gonna be hard if we perform bad. Whatever we do, say we make. We strike out 7 times. We can run 7 hills for our strikeout.
So basically, in other words, as I see up on there on the board, it says dominate, build a legacy. Won a state championship, great, good job. But guess what? Y'all got bigger goals in mind. Am I correct? Does that what the mentality needs to be all across the board? Even though if you're winning, you got to keep going.
Yeah,
They do not stop here. You got time to celebrate.
That's not the winning the state championship this year in 14. It's not the end goal. Like we want to win multiple state championships, but that's not the end goal. Like the end goal is to have these girls hold themselves accountable. One day these girls are gonna be mothers. They're gonna be wives. They're gonna be sisters, aunts. They're gonna be leaders in our community. The end goal is to make sure we get as many girls as we can to have opportunity to go to college. And hopefully play softball, but go to school and learn those same things that we're teaching them now to help them be successful in life. Therefore, we can begin to change the culture and do it.
So going off that, what is the primary goal of youth sports in Charles City? Is it simply participation, skill development, or is it something else? Because I feel like sometimes it's just participating. Hey, I might get a trophy here at the banquet. No. What do we have to do to continuously build that skill?
It has to be all three, the way I look. We're gonna have some folks that just participate, and then you might find them down on the road later. Usually in football, bigger guys develop later.
Yeah.
But you gotta keep them in the program. You gotta keep them going.
Keep them engaged, basically.
Because your line is gonna develop later. They ain't getting the ball when they 5, 6 years old if they one of the bigger kids, But definitely 100% skill development. It's hard to teach left-hand layups in the 10th grade. It's true. It's hard to know where to throw the ball at baseball or softball in 10th grade. So skill development is that, and the more is that's your culture. If you build, that's why we're Charles City Panthers Inc. Because we're trying to be blue and gold from 5 years old to you 90 in the ground.
Exactly.
So it's not just the team; it's the comeback.
It's the pride.
I remember when we were in high school. One of the coaches cut this off later. But during winter break, the college kids that had played previously for the high school came back. And after our practice, it was open gym. The college kids came in and we played open gym for 2-3 hours. Ran all our plays. We played basketball. We ran our plays. We ran our defenses. It was great, but it became a tradition. Yeah. We need to get back to some of those traditional things that everybody else is doing, and we just saying, "Oh no, we're not gonna do it. Just give us a little break. Give it a little break." Like me and Coach Logan had numerous people come back to talk to our girls. Jolisa, who else we had? Michelle talked to us. Like
BJ, Victor Johnson came and spoke to him one day. Just kids in the community. I think Justice and Wozy. I know it's crazy you speak on that little baseball team that I had, but I had 4 guys on that baseball team that I had from 10 to 15 that played college baseball, and then another guy played college football, and then 8 or 9 kids that I had in summer camp. I know you worked with me 1 year in summer camp and seen that group, but I had those same kids from rec baseball from 10 until it was 15, and they came to summer camp and baseball with me and became successful kids. They're 22, 23 years old now, and they all good kids. You know what I'm saying? They all some of them graduated from college, some of them in their careers now, some of them still playing baseball. One of them still at Virginia Union playing football. So this was a great group of kids, and I feel like that was one of the first groups of kids that I had that get it. It's crazy because I even feel like I'm a better coach today than I was when I was coaching them, just because of my experience, what I know, what I learned, and what I know. And they always text me and say, "Good job, coach. I'm seeing success with the girls." And I'm like, "Yeah, man." I always thank them because I'm like, "Bro, you don't realize how much you taught me just from being a kid at that moment that I bring that experience now with the girls."
Let me ask you this. I know a lot of people may not know this, but I do know you're a big Deion Sanders fan. I know that. I know you got Prime's picture up when we was working together at that time. What has Prime taught you? Do you think has made you a better coach over time?
I always thought about that. Like growing up, Deion Sanders was one of my favorite athletes. Like I played baseball and football. Found out this guy played baseball and football. My favorite number is 2. That's his favorite number. So it was like me and Luke Leo was like Deion Sanders' birthday August 9th. Like he a Leo. So it's like it was so many similarities to this guy that I aspired to be like. That's what motivated me to do that. You know what I'm saying? I had some success. I ain't reached the heights that he reached, but I feel like that gave me something to reach for, put me where I'm at today. Seeing guys do it the right way, that's what we trying to provide for our girls, so and they'll realize they can provide for younger people. Because like Luke graduated 4 years before I did, so I remember the teams that he was on. I remember those baseball teams. They told me in 9th grade, like, you trying to be as good as Luke in baseball, and I was like, man, I'm gonna be better than Luke. But that's the competitive.
That's the competitive nature.
Yeah. That's the competitive. And then Luke came and coached me my senior year, so it was like, man, I'm trying to do everything you did.
And I rooted against him. His batting average was almost better than mine. I was rooting against him the last week, so he didn't break by.
I was betting over 500 until like the last week of the season.
So I was like, nah, he ain't got it.
Yeah, it's fun, man. But no, it's crazy. Deion was a great inspiration to me. It's great.
And just seeing what he's doing now,
Yeah,
the battles. You think about it, because you look at the battles he's gone through, the cancer, the different disrespect he's gone through. Charles City is almost in this way of we've been going through so much for so long,
So it's
and so many battles, and this battle and that battle. But it seems like the tide has changed a little bit. Coach Lou, talk about how that tide can change.
So I've seen it firsthand. You know, honestly, I coached the basketball youth team. We in the Verona League, football. You know, we out there. We was in the Metro. Now we going back to the ETB. But you could see it as our girls came along when we went through Kiwanis Park from the start. We got different looks. You know what I mean? This is a team from Charles City. There's certain things they expect from us. But winning, honestly, it's crazy. Winning changes a lot of that stuff and a lot of that mindset. Once you start winning, they start realizing, oh, these girls are playing fundamentally sound, they're respectful, they're doing everything right.
They're serious. They're serious about their business.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then they see the work you put in.
They're not just here. They're here to be serious and win baseball games, softball games.
We're here to win. That's our expectation. People are seeing the work we're putting in there. And like we call it an award tour, you know, and it's been a whole entire month since we've been back from Shenandoah Valley. Like the girls are actually getting that credit. But now you start to change the perspective of certain guys. But it got to be, like we keep saying, across the board. If the girls can do it and put the work in, anybody can do it in Charles. They want no different from any other kid in Charles City when they ask us to play softball.
And you define that as excuses. A lot of people making excuses and not putting forth the work. If you put forth the work and lose the excuses, what can happen in this county?
Yeah, no, you're right. I think we get a lot of excuses. Like I said, I'm fortunate enough to coach the high school football team and baseball team as well. But one of the biggest things I realized it was the excuses. Like we had kids miss practice, just to miss practice. Like our girls don't make those excuses. That's why they had some success.
And again, this is no diss to anybody, but again, we are trying to bring accountability not just for the sports, but the after sports, as into adulthood. It comes back to that word accountability. Now, you guys point on some good things, but what I want to know is ultimately, you're talking about people are recognizing. Let's talk about the county involvement. Guys, every time I go to a school board meeting, it's empty. No one's there. That's where people come and make their voices heard for more money, for more resources. How do we get community involvement better? And bring solutions. Not just talking, but bring solutions. That's been my biggest gripe with the board of supervisors meetings. I hate to say it like that, but it's a lot of talking.
Yeah,
but where are the solutions? Where are the solutions that can help this county and help these, most importantly, help the future of these kids?
We gotta kill the divide.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
We gotta kill the divide.
This is one Charles City.
One Charles City. That's what we preach.
That's on there yet, but I was gonna bring it up too. It's like it gotta be one Charles City. I mean, it's crazy. Me and Luke was on the same page with that.
Hashtag one Charles City.
Yeah, it gotta be, and we gotta start coming together for a common goal. That's the only way we're gonna have success. And that's with everything. That's why we started our Little League program. Like I said, it's blue and gold, the Panthers, because we want you to be a Panther from when you start to when you finish. And like I said, till you 90 in the ground. And so if we can do all the things together and with one common goal, then you don't have a division.
And somebody told me, you know, me and Coach Logan know a lot of folks, and we hear a lot of things too. You know, they was telling me that New Kent, it's the same thing. They really don't like each other, and like I'm talking about the political aspect of it. but they come together and they're gonna figure out what's best for the county.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen
it.
Yeah, I'm unfortunate enough to coach in New Canaan, like Luke said, that was some of the things that we done heard. But I done seen it. It could be two fathers in New Kent that don't like each other, but if Timmy donate $500, but Billy gonna donate $500 too.
He might donate $700.
Exactly.
He might get
exactly. But what happens now? But who benefits from that?
The children.
Look like little Billy and little Timmy. Like,
Exactly.
The kids benefit. They win now, so that's not always the case here.
And we got companies in the county that need to support the kids. We got companies in the county that need to support the school. Like, if you hear you're part of Charles City, your business is in Charles City, support the county, support the schools. It's certain things that the kids should have already in this. When you come up through rec, it should be, oh, I'm on the varsity team now. You know, I get to use the shooting machine. I get to use the batting cage on baseball and softball field. The rec shouldn't be better than
the high school.
The high school.
Yeah.
But the county is more involvement and less divide that'll get those things for us. We gotta come together and figure those things out. E2E, when they came down, they said Charles City was a diamond in the rough. They don't know what we got here.
No, it was like that. What was that? 3 years ago now. Mm-hmm. Like I said, E2E came. It was
Mike
Robb,
football.
Yeah. So they came in here and watched us. So we're like, y'all got a track around y'all football field. Y'all got bleachers on both sides. You got a concession stand. You got a prime location. You got unlimited parking. You got access to all this. You had lights. Most of the rec fields you play at didn't have none of those things. So if you have all of this right here, it's the same as the high school and your rec, everybody pour right into this one little spot right here, we can change a lot of things. And like I said, because we don't have enough kids, it ain't like we need $1 million facility. We don't have 1 million kids. We got just enough people here where this can support everybody if we all come together and pour into this. And I know Luke spoke on the batting cage, and since we got the opportunity, like, we still don't have a batting cage out there yet. Like, our girls are winning games and being successful without a batting cage. Yeah. It's times we gotta go to Pine Fork just because they got 4 cages at the bottom, and I'll pull up in our van and we got, you know what I'm saying, be 12 girls over there, we practice and we'll see other teams, and sometimes we get some looks and some stares, but like Luke said, I think we starting to earn respect, because like, you would look at us like, oh, well, they respectful. You know, after being out there, you might say, we look a certain way, come out there for a minute, but oh, no, them girls are nice. Like, they actually can swing, they hitting, they doing good, they clean up after themselves. So those are the things that we're trying to do that we should be doing here, right here in our county. Like, why we can't get those businesses to support us to pour in here? We should, to be honest, this school should have, it should be $1 million facility here, because it's ours and it's all we got.
How do we get those people to come back and say, hey, we want to be a part, we want to put our business on your fence, on your new fence that you all may potentially have. You all have a fence out there. You all actually have a fence out there. I haven't seen a fence out there since I've been in school. What goes into that process, and what can you say to people out there who might want to donate or want to see these girls be successful, and the boys as well, but especially the girls?
Yeah. I think the girls we want everybody to win. Like we said, this one Charles City, the girls is in the front of the line. Put it like that. Like, all of us want to win, but they're just up front right now. Luke does a lot. People don't realize, like the fence that you see out there came out of our pocket. Like I think it was me, him, and his dad that donated the money for the fence. We called the little equipment guy, Mickey West, that deal with us there. He was like, hey, how much for a temporary fence? I had never put a temporary fence up. We both played softball at the rec. We seen it out there. Me and Luke said, look, how hard can it be? We told our girls that when y'all play high school, we're not gonna play on the field without a fence. So we made sure we got on the fence.
Because it sets a standard, right?
It does.
Because if there's no fence and the field isn't looking good, and you got people trampling over the field in the off season, and your field's not looking good, what kind of standard are you really setting?
And you hear, you know, other fans coming up that may not know that me and Coach Logan are the coaches, you know. Oh, they ain't got no fence. You know, that's the first thing you hear folks saying. You know how we are. I was like, you ain't gonna hit it on the fence anyway, everyone. But you know, that was one of the things we had told the girls, that we wanted a fence. That's a standard. That's a standard. Yeah. That's a ball field has a fence on it.
Like
that's the first fence that ever been on our softball field.
Yeah, like I said, I don't remember one of those since I was in school.
Yeah,
and they used to have stuff up, but then it wasn't a priority anymore. Unfortunately, it was not a priority.
But like you said, it got to become the norm. Like, you can't send me to school and not give me the same textbook. Sometimes I feel like here in Charles City, I feel like it's 1984. Now you wouldn't send me, like say you wouldn't send me to school without a textbook and expect me to learn the same as the people that do. If everybody got a laptop, you wouldn't send me to school and then have me reading out the textbook when everybody using a laptop and using the internet. So like something, but that's what you're expecting. When you send me on a baseball field without a fence and, you know what I'm saying, softball field without a fence and fields that they taking care of, or my football field is not to standards, like you setting me up for failure. One of the things we preach with our girls, we to make sure that I'm gonna give you everything that everybody else got. And I know Luke can speak on this because like we take pride in our uniforms. We make sure that we, like when we go to tournaments or we go to different places or when we get on the bus and go to Middlesex or Matthews, our girls can look just like their girls. All our girls got a helmet. Every girl on our team got a Eagle shield, like a white helmet, and we just put decals
like
this
like everybody else.
Exactly. Like we want to have everything that everybody else got. Why not? We no different.
Do you think you guys have cut the laziness out of this county? And I have cut the laziness out because a lot of times, like I said before, I see people just going out and playing sports, but you guys are actually doing it for a reason. There's a reason why you're doing this.
Yeah.
I think we've given them the, let's say, the guinea pig, the story. Like, if you do it this way.
In other words, Luke, you're saying, I'm giving you guys the blueprint.
Yeah.
If you guys do not take what we're saying here and go with it, then we can't do anything for you in the future.
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying?
And the thing of it is, it's not guaranteed success either.
No.
You know what I mean? If you take,
Because you gotta work.
You gotta work.
This will give you a chance.
And this will give you a chance to do it. Like I said in the, Dr. Hopper had a meeting the other day with the coaches and parents. I was like, I'm done with the participation thing here. Like, we cannot just participate. You know, I think we touched base on it earlier, but you can't just participate to play a sport because you are affecting softball, baseball, the 8 other people that's out there on the field if you participate. You gotta be all in. Sports is all in.
And if you're playing football, you just participate, you get somebody hurt like
Yes, 100%. That is a sport you cannot just participate in.
you know?
Yeah.
So, but like I said, so basically you guys have given them the open book test, give you everything you need. If you guys don't, do anything with this, then what are you doing, right?
You're right. Mm-hmm.
So how do you continue to continue that blueprint?
I mean, I think it's tough at times, but I think it's just dedicating and seeing the end goal. For me, like I think, to be honest, it's faith. Sometimes, like I gotta understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, because it's a lot of dog days. But I feel like you gotta just continue to show them the example. I think if we keep leading, somebody gonna follow. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at it like that. We just gotta attack those days. It get tough at times. And another thing too, I learned we can't save everybody. Like some of the Luca always said too. Like some of the older kids, like if you're a junior or senior, I'm not gonna really be able to change you. But like I said, the majority of our girls are in 9th, and we got a few girls in 10th grade and a few girls in 8th grade. But the majority of our girls are going to the 9th grade. So our goal is to really everybody in the 9th grade and under to change them, because it gotta change sooner. You know what I'm saying? It gotta change now, or it's never gonna change.
It's now or never, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's how I feel.
And the crazy thing about it to me, it only takes, small school, small county, it only takes one kid, one basketball kid. And it could be it ain't gotta be the best player, it could be the most popular player. You just need a leader to follow.
Yeah.
You get one kid to say, hey, I'm gonna do this, and then it's gonna come. The style eventually gonna start coming in. Our girls was green. They had never got coached by nobody else. They thought this is what you do. So that would help us so much. But now you got, kids that's a little bit older, say they're 14, 15, and they've been coached by numerous coaches. And certain things was allowed. But now if I get this kid that's 12, or like the juices, you get a Jeremiah Bright that want to lead, and then kids start following.
Yeah.
That's when you create that culture.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm asking you guys here. A lot of people want to go to these bigger schools. They say, I have a big opportunity, etc. I have a theory of big fish, small pond. Charles City, if you do great, you'll remember forever.
Yeah.
They remember you forever. You go somewhere else, they may remember you, but they may not. Talk about that big fish and small pond.
Can I start on the coach?
Yeah, but
So at Deep Run, right? I wouldn't lose kids to smaller schools. I would lose kids to prep schools. So my thing would always be, I would have my interview with them and tell them what I want to do with you. This is my goals for you this year. You can go talk to, let's say, collegiate and see what they want to do for you. They will tell us. But, some stayed, some went to their prep school. But then from that prep school, this is the thing that would bother me, Rob, was they would go D3 And there's nothing wrong with D3 because to play a college sport, Division III basketball is elite as well. People don't understand that.
You cover a lot of sports, yeah, you understand.
D3 basketball, I was like, you could have went D3 from
Yeah.
Yeah. You could have. So at Charles City, I'm not gonna keep calling out Verona, you know, but if you go to a bigger school and you go to Virginia State from that bigger school, you could have did that at Charles City.
Virginia State from Charles City. And had more accolades and more stuff.
If you're going to Duke, you're going to Power 5, North Carolina and all that, I understand that completely.
Yeah.
I understand that part of it. But if I'm going to a school that I was able to go from here and be successful, be all-state, win a state championship, or just be a regular guy, I could have came to stay in Charles City and brought more pride and been more meaningful.
Yeah, exactly.
You might, at a bigger school, like you said, if I go to Virginia State, I want the best player. I want the best player on that team at that time.
Exactly.
And I wasn't at a state championship level either at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
So the success here would mean more than it would mean at a bigger school in my eyes.
And you touch on something, another good transition. We've been transitioning good all day.
Yeah.
With the final topic we're going to talk about, guys, and we talked about this before the show, how do we bring back pride in Charles City County? Sports and overall, the pride of Charles City County. The pride that we all grew up with. When I came up, man, I was around some great athletes. I know you guys, of course, you guys are great athletes, around some great athletes. How do we bring that pride back and make it sustained success? Not just a 3-4 year window, but how do we sustain Charles City pride once again?
I think I think some of it has got to be the culture. Like I think the pride comes from your community involvement. Like
we're talking about community getting involved and seeing what the girls are doing, seeing what other people are doing, and you know.
Like you know what I'm saying. I think like people understanding and what you're doing and holding yourself accountable in those moments and standing up for your whole community and pride. Like you said, like I remember growing up and playing football here. I wanted to carry myself a certain way because I would go to the store and somebody I may not know would be like, hey, little Mike, you know what I'm saying, or know me because I'm Cheryl's son, or Mike Logan that played football. So it's like, okay, now I can't get in trouble. Okay, now I gotta perform the next time. I'll see somebody in the grocery store and be like, man, you had a good game the other night. I didn't even know they was at the game.
Talk about real quick how those football stands used to be filled.
Yeah.
And you couldn't get nobody in there, right?
There'll be 1,500 people at a home game. You know what I'm saying? I remember homecoming and like when we played like Sussex or those type of games from my sophomore to my senior year, it would be 1,500, 1,800 people at the game, and the crowd would be nice, like you said. And then somebody would always tell me they seen me do something and I didn't realize that, and we didn't even have social media.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I know it'd be that much bigger if we would have that type of success now. So I think all of those things gotta happen. Like we gotta have success and don't have pride as well. Once you start having success, then the community will come back in that. You gotta have good coaches. I think we got a lot of great coaches here, not just to say it, but I feel like me and Luke are outstanding coaches. But Sherrod Jones is an outstanding coach. You know what I'm saying? I think we starting to get the coaches back here that's from the county that can actually coach, and then I can restore that pride because we want to see you win. That's another good thing too about us. Like we want to see these girls do things that we weren't able to do. We teach them tell them all the time. Like one of the reasons why I do what I do is because I wish I had somebody like us when I was here. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish I had a coach that saw this in me. Like I was this guy, to be honest. I joke with people all the time. I've been this Mike Logan since I was like 15, 16 years old. Like I knew everything pretty much. Like I thought this way was kind of like moving this way. Like I wish somebody would have seen this in me the way I see it in kids today. You know what I'm saying? So I pray that we can restore the pride here. You know what I'm saying? Like I think we can, but like I said, I think it's gonna take a little bit of everything. I think it's gonna take the community to the kids believing in themselves again and having some type of success, and people getting back involved. It was like we had a parade for our girls for winning the states, and to be honest, it should have been 500 more people here. But I think those are the type of things that instilled that pride in. So now our girls feel like they should win it again next year.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I think to add on what Coach Logan was saying, it's gonna have to come from if you graduate from Charles City, you're gonna have to come back and support. Because it's right now, like I said, it's extreme. We're at that level of, when you get to that point, your gas light is on, so it's gonna take everything to come back. Like you're gonna have to have classes come back. They're gonna have some type of pride, like fundraising with your classes. Basketball, it gotta be themed nights. Football, it gotta be themed nights. Softball, it gotta be more advertised. Baseball, more advertised. It gotta be to the extreme of like, my business is about to close. What can I do to keep it open to install that pride? Churches, everybody got to be one to bring that back. And once you get it, you know how you got it, and you got to keep it going.
And I'll give you guys credit. You guys have done good social media wise. I've seen the posts you made. I mean, I ain't mean to brag, but I remember when you guys were first starting this thing up. You had the girls out there doing the stuff. I try to come out there as much as I could. I still try to come out when I can. But it can't just be me. It can't just be me as a social media person. I got a pretty big platform. 1,600 on Instagram. I got bigger than on YouTube. It's got to be the others, people who can pick up a camera, know how to use, a camera, all that different type of stuff. They got to come out and do this stuff too. I have no ego. I want everybody to come out and give y'all shit. So if you have that, you're from here. You got to come on. You got to show.
Yeah, we gotta find a way to glorify what we do. Too. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like, I know one of the things we always was known for, like car shows and like life stuff at the church and the park, or like the other things like that always had great showings. Something happened on social media that's like a negative thing. That'll circle through a lot.
Coach Logan, like you know what I'm about to say. If we can go like adult softball, when me and Coach Logan was playing, it will be packed out there. We can go out there for adult softball and watch grown men play adult softball. You can come out here and support the kids and support your family. I bet you everybody in the county got somebody on a team that's a cousin, their nephew, their sister's friend, or something.
You're too small not to be connected somehow.
You have to support them. You have to support them. Support is our biggest thing now.
And I think that what these girls can especially, like I said, again, nothing towards baseball and other sports, but these girls are leading the front. It's little stuff, like, and not just little, but dugouts.
Yeah.
You need dugouts. I mean, it's ridiculous that you would have to go to Harrison Park or wherever else just to get dugouts. Like, there are different things that need to happen. And I understand money's tight and things happen, but
we got guys that had his own fencing company that can donate a dugout. I see it. So those are things we got to start working with everybody to figure it out. And so sometimes we face hurdles here in Charles City. I guess that's a better way to put it. Where, hey, I might want to do such and such this way, but you got to get permission from somebody else to do it, or you got to make sure that's okay with them. Why we look at it like that instead of saying, what can we do to make sure this happens? If somebody's willing to give us something, if you got a team like we have, if you got, say for instance, you wake up tomorrow and you got 50 kids that want to play football, but then the school, the community, the county, the churches should figure out how do we figure out a way to get 50 more helmets. Because if I got 50 kids tomorrow, do we got enough helmets for 50 kids? But can you say, well, we can't let all 50 play because we don't got enough equipment. What I got to do to make that work? We got to start coming together and coming up with a plan and solution to figure it out.
Coach Luke, I think what Mike is trying to say, in other words, cut the politics, be better for the kids.
Yeah,
is that what it is? In other words?
Yeah, you got to, like we said, you got to put your ego to the side, and you got to look at the bigger picture. Like, developing these kids is our future from this young anyway. As a dad, as a coach, as a Charles City citizen, you got to develop these kids so they can be better kids and a better place. Charles City can be a better place. And we all need to work together. Like, if we got a dugout, that dugout that's not just going to benefit our 14U team. It's going to be there for
the future.
Yes, it's going to be there for
the future. It's going to be there for research.
Yeah, you have to invest.
It's going to be all those things. And another thing too, I know we talked a lot about the sports too, because that's our part, not talking to, it's our platform. I think I wouldn't be here without sports, but we got to have that same pride too in everything. Because it ain't just sports, we got some kids that might want to go to school for art or different things like that. We really need to invest into our youth. We need to develop more programs. What we're doing right here today, it may be two great athletes, but it may be somebody that's great behind the camera and behind the mic. How can we encourage her to be special at that so she can interview our future leaders? Stuff like that. So it might be somebody that can work the curtain.
Exactly.
I had a group, speaking of that great group, with Tayshawn was one of the kids on that team. We did a presentation, but him and another kid was the curtain guys, and did great at it. But you're going to always need somebody doing something, because there's people behind the scenes, there's people, in front of the camera, there's people doing the sports. So how can we get all our kids prepared for their role in life?
And Rob, I'm glad one. In pride also, when we go back to the pride, student involvement.
Yes.
You gotta get, if you're not just playing. It's not about, like Coach Logan said, not just about playing sports. It's student involvement. Had so many kids that didn't, no knock on the deep run kids, had 0% athletic ability.
Yeah, but
they was there every game. They felt like when they lost, when deep run lost, when we lost, they lost too.
Yes.
And that's what they got to start feeling too. And that's how you create more pride, because I'm invested just as much as you are. Even though you're in here lifting weights and getting 1,000 jump shots up, I'm invested just like you are.
Because I'm in that blue and gold as well. You know what I'm saying? I thought about this earlier. Like, my favorite color is red, but over the last 3 years, I don't want so much blue and gold. Because, like, everything I wear is, like, blue. Like, kids think my favorite color is royal blue, but my favorite color is red. But it's, like, having that pride, and I'm so invested. Just like Luke said, when I was in New Kent, I seen the student involvement. You know what I'm saying? It was a class called student involvement where the kids would go out there and line the fields. The kids would go out there and do those type of things, so get home games ready for, you know what I'm saying, like set the chairs out or fill up the coolers and happen the training and stuff like that. Because like you said, it brings a sense of pride. Like, yeah, I don't play basketball, but I was out there setting the chairs up. So like, I feel like when the basketball team won, I was a part of that as well.
And I can say that when Charles City sports kind of went down, maybe like almost 10 years ago, when things were looking bad, I can see a lot of parents, a lot of people on the sidelines. Oh, it's okay, pat people in the back. And there's nothing wrong with patting people on the back.
Yeah.
But what I've seen over maybe the last 3 or 4 years, I've started to see that Charles City come back. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that Charles City back, when people are starting to, we want to be competitive. Parents are yelling on the court. Not saying that they're being disruptive, but they're yelling, they're saying, look, you need to get your butt in line. We need that. That's what I'm used to. I know that's what you guys are used to. So, you know, how do we continue to bring that, as we wrap up here, how do we continue to bring that forth?
Come to the games. That's one.
Number one.
Come to the games. Support. Come to the games. Like I said, know your community, and then I'm not just gonna keep going back to the accountability route. But I remember when we were in school.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with it because that's the number one with sports, accountability.
Look, my mom from Paris Hill, my dad from Cambridge's Wayside. Paris Hill boys would come down there and they would let you know if you're playing wrong. They'll let you know, but then after the game, they're gonna hug you and say, we're gonna get them next time.
Yep.
They'll tell you that. They'll tell you that. But that made, like, I wanted to impress the Cleons. I wanted to impress the Justins. I wanted to make sure Mark Carter knew I could play basketball.
Yeah.
And that's one thing when you come back home and you're rooting for your team. It's your team. Like, my number one team is Charles City. It ain't Buffalo Bills and ain't Michigan. It's Charles City. I'm rooting for my team.
This is where I'm from, man. It's a sense of pride.
Yeah, you have to come back into this building and feel like when we lose, like, we got to figure out a way to do better. And we got to do better as a community, because now it's got to the extreme level of we need everybody to participate. Everybody bring it on. Yeah.
Like, me and Luke are so competitive. I went to a housewarming a couple of weeks ago, and it was like, it was actually a kid from New Kent. That everybody graduated like 2014. Like, that's how long ago I coached. It was like kids that graduated from New Kent. I went to a housewarming, and it was a guy that was a military guy, just a random guy. I didn't know him, and he was like Charles City area, I think West Point, and like he was a JRTC guy, so he recruited kids in the area for the Army. And he was like, Charles City. I was like, man, y'all ain't good at nothing. And he might have had a couple of drinks, but like, I'm on the phone with Luke, and Luke over here, I'm like, who is that? And we like, Charles City, like, that ain't the case. My girls just won state championship. Like, what school you went to? I think he was from like Florida or something. But just if we want to change that narrative, man, we got to change the way that the world look at us. We want to renew that sense of pride, that Panther pride back from here. Because like I said, we from here, man. Like, it means a lot to me. Like, I love being from Charles City because that's who I am. This is what I am, and I love to go and represent Charles City. Like, it's been times where I done coached at Easton. I remember one of the reasons why I came back, and I'll share this story real quick. One of the reasons I came back home to Charles City to coach, I remember coaching at Easton, and the week before we played at Verona. When we played at Verona, everybody knows the story. I played baseball at Verona, so my name is on like 5 of those boards out there. I'm a 2-time state championship as a player and playing Little League All-Stars. And he seen my name on it. It's like, Coach Logan, that's you? Like, Mike, he seen Mike Logan on the board. I was like, yeah, I played baseball there. I told y'all that was nice. The kids was probably like 10, 12 years old at the time. It was like 10 years ago. And that was cool. The next weekend we played at Charles City at Harrison Park. And like 2 parents out there got to fight. I mean, it was like a coach and a parent got to fussing. Easton beat Charles City like 50-0. It was like, Coach Logan, you from Charles City? The kids was amazed that I was from there, from here. So it was like, I was like, man, I gotta go home and fix it. I want to change that. Like, cause I am from Charles City. Like, the guy that could coach them and could show them and play college football, that could show them the ins and outs, that appreciate me, that I got kids that's playing college football right now that was on that team. It's like they couldn't fathom that, man, that guy was from here. You know what I'm saying? And like that blew my mind.
Let me ask you this, we're in this nice weight room where, you know, the athletes train. I'd like to see this room, you've been speaking about blue and yellow all day. I'd like to see this room be blue and yellow. What y'all think?
So look, we're speaking on that blue and gold, and look,
Blue and gold.
the idea I have is a challenge. It's a challenge to all the former athletes. Everybody got pictures of when they played ball at Charles City. We got somebody that can put some type of like a fat head on the wall. Send us your picture. Put another nice donation with it. It might be $25, it might be $100. Let's fill this wall with former athletes. That's the work that we put in. The work that y'all put in the past, the kids need it now. But you can go in here and be like, oh, that's my uncle right there. Oh, that's my cousin right there. That's my brother right there. So you could have been the 12th man on the team, or you could have been the all-state guard. It don't make a difference. Like, this wall is too bad. Like, still to this day, Rob, it's how many banners in that gym?
Like 4 or 5.
Yeah, we need to fill that up.
Because I go other places from other schools that don't
even like the 1,000 point thing. Like,
they don't even do the individual banners anymore. They just put the year on there.
Yeah.
05, 08. You know what I mean? 2022.
We just had some state championships out there on the fence. I think New King won in 2023, right?
Yeah, they got the banners out there.
We go play there. That's one of the things I pointed out to our girls. We played there the first game JV this year. You see the 2023 state champions, the banner's up there. You win a banner in high school, we put it up there, it's up there forever.
Yeah. You get people who want to come out there and use social media. How important is social media when it comes to making sports bigger?
Oh yeah, these days and time, that's all. Like, everybody wants the game day posts. Everybody wants the results, you know. So we try to do our best of putting it out there, sending it to the girls, keeping them involved, sending it to all the kids of everything that everybody else is doing. All the flashes, all the colors, they need to see it is exposure. It's not only gonna get you recruited, it'll also open up eyes to anybody. You know, like we were saying earlier, a few churches that donated in access to visit after we won the state. But we put it on social media, so now we get more calls because it's more exposure. And now it's gonna be more help eventually because they know we got a good team coming up. And right along with anything, winning draws attention.
People want to be involved with winners.
Exactly. And then that's what we was talking about earlier. Like we said, now that the people know, now your expectations change. Now I got a group of people. Now not just my coach and my mom believing in me. Now I had the whole church believing in me. Now I got this part of the community. Now when I go to the store, they know I'm such and such that played. Oh, I seen you hit that home run last weekend. Oh, I know you on the team. You got a picture. Like, those are the things. It's like, it just set that precedent. So now I got that pride. So now when I show up to the weight room, I got people looking up to me.
Well, that's also going to put the pressure on the schools. Like, we need more bleachers. We need, like, why don't we have better concessions during these baseball and softball games? I mean, come on, you know, are we being honest here?
And when I flip the field, like, we wanted to change the field around, like, put a press box behind it with concession stand, like, not to speak too much on New Kent, but like you see our surrounding areas, you go to New Kent, you got a press box and a concession stand right there at the field. With a bathroom.
And then you guys, and then those girls have walk-up music. The girls don't have walk-up music. I mean, like I said, the more you guys win, who knows? Somebody can put the money up because it's not. We're not doing this because we think they deserve it. They do deserve it.
Yeah,
they do deserve it.
We just want to give them what everybody else has.
Yes,
and then it's for the long run. So if they get it now, it's like a statue. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, girls coming behind. We got probably like 8 girls in Charles City that's between the age of 10 and 12.
And you don't know who's outside of Charles City who may want to move here and say, hey, we want to play for these two, and we want to play for these.
It's the optics.
Coach Logan and Coach Luke.
It's the optics is always big. Keeping kids here.
Yeah.
So if I got the optics, it looks like a program. It is a program. They're winning. Why would I leave?
Exactly.
But if I don't have this and I don't have that in the place I'm going to, even though I still might go to a D2 school or not the D1 school I want to, but the optics were better from the start. You can't convince me to stay because you don't have those optics.
Because and it's crazy that you said that. Like, I think because every girl is not the college prospect yet. If I'm a kid that need their development, well, I might get better development if I got a better weight room, better facility. You know what I'm saying? And I got a bad cage. So the parent may look at that like, hey, my child is not as good to be the star on this team right now. But if I take her here, maybe she could be the 8th or 9th girl team, but at least she's going to develop because she got everything that she needs in front of her.
And you can look at New Kent, you just say Hampton or going to University of Virginia.
Yeah.
You know, you can say, hey, look, you got somebody right there across the border that's going to University of Virginia. Why not you? Why not you? Right?
We talk, and our girls follow those girls now. Like our girls look at that, like as we expose them to that, so they can see, so they don't be as green. You know what I'm saying? And now we can inspire them to be like that and go shoot for something like that.
And despite that loss that you guys had against them, talk about how disappointing that game was. Just like, can you just talk about how, even though you guys lost the game, it's not about the loss. It's about how competitive you guys were. I started you, Coach Luke. You, Coach Logan. Talk about how important that game was to play that for Charles City.
So, honest opinion, I feel if it wasn't for the girls' success before JV, we would have never got that game with the
Right. That's a fact.
Because they recognized it, right?
We gained respect from 12U to 14U to get that JV game. And when me and Coach Logan, you can see on the board, when we write our schedule down, and we know for a fact we want to play New Kent in high school as well. That can be a Saturday night game. You ride up right down the road 15 minutes and create that rivalry back up. But to be competitive with New Kent, we got to beat King William. We got to get them off the schedule. We got to get them off New Kent's schedule because New Kent's not gonna play us until we win a state championship varsity level.
Yes.
But that game was so huge because it opened up their eyes for their opportunity. So we went there. We lost the game. Me and Coach Logan feel like it was a few things. Of course, we want to win.
We should have been in the game.
But first game of the year, playing New Kent over there at JV, we had already garnered respect from 12U and 14U to get that game. And then we went out there and we produced as well as a single A school. So they know, and as 8th graders, first game, nerve, you get the state 2023 state champion, you're going out to that field.
Right. Pitching and catching 8th grade. Like I said, first 5 batters, they go to the plate 8th grade.
Yeah, so it was that respect level, but that game was so huge for the future. Now, 9th grade, majority of our girls in 9th grade, we probably won't get that game, but as a chance for us to get it 10th, 11th, 12th. Because of what we produce and because we win the states. Now we go back to back in the states again because majority of our girls can't play 14U again because they changed some rules on it. But that game is huge for the development, not only for our girls, but the girls coming behind them. If we can create that rivalry, that friendly rivalry that we like to put out there. Because Robb, New Kent's your rival. I would say that's your rival. It's not West Point. New Kent is not West Point. West Point is not your rival.
And Coach Logan, how important is it to remind everybody? Because I understand New Kent has more resources now, etc. And this is no slight New Kent, but we need to remind people just what this was, right? And you guys have brought that back. So again, talk about how important that was.
No, I think the game was big, like you said, just for our respect. Like I think their coach was there. I talked to Coach Bates after the game, and she was just like, "Man, you got some girls that can play." You know what I'm saying? So
and that's big for her because she doesn't candy coat anything.
No, she's very straightforward.
I know her personally.
Like, crazy. Yeah, I coached JV baseball in New Kent when Bates was the JV softball coach in New Kent. So, but yeah, just to say, hey, we got some girls that can play coming from her. Like we was right in the game. And I think we just, like I said, continue to get that respect. Our girls hold us up a certain way, and I know they're gonna get that from me and Luke being their coaches. So I think that was one of the things that kind of like this helped us with that. Just earning that respect, and even to go back to the tournament we just played. Like I think one of the things I noticed this past was like a month ago now, but it was like the guys when we got up there, like it was a group of guys that worked on the field in Senator Valley that was like, man, hey, your girls really can play. Like it reminded me of how it was when I grew up playing in Verona, but it was just like good dudes that was just out there that was working on the field. It's like, man, I love the way y'all coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like every day and then that was like coming from peers. Like, of course the parents here would tell me and Luke that, and like me and Luke know what we feel, but to have somebody that didn't know me, didn't know our girls, so it's like, man, I love the way y'all play. You and your coach can coach. Like your girls play the game the right way. It was big, you know what I'm saying? And just to get that respect. So I feel like the more our girls are playing, the more we're gonna start to get that respect that they deserve. And these are the things that me and Luke were preaching to them for the last 2-3 years. So and I think they needed to hear those things because they started to see it. So now my work is not going unnoticed.
Yeah. And you guys just want to make it clear, you're not beneath New Kent, but what you are is you're getting that respect back that kind of was lost a little bit. But hey, this is the level we're on. Just don't forget where you came from. At one time we were on the same level, and we're trying to build that back up, that rivalry back up.
Yeah, and with us taking the girls, like almost was me and Coach Logan, you know, we'd take the girls to the New Kent game.
Yeah,
you know, like
we support
to
them,
let
like
you
I
know,
said,
we got a team coming as well. We've been to Mills Garden game. I know Coach Logan is real close with Nicky Jones.
Yeah.
We've been in those
Yeah,
games
yeah.
and see that level of ball too as well. So we just try to get eyes on our girls and let them know when we come in, you know, we coming out there to play ball. You know, at the end of the day, what the score is going to be at the end is totally up on how we play and how we prepare.
Yeah.
But we definitely, it's going to be a program and it's going to be something to be respected by. And when we come out there to play ball against New Kent, hopefully in the next couple of years, you know, hope it's a good friendly contest like we know it's going to be.
Yeah.
But,
And like, we want to win, and they should want to win. And I think it goes to kind of like what you spoke about earlier, like Verona and Holly Springs. It was one year where Verona and Holly Springs want to beat each other, but they both, since they're in different divisions now, like 4 and 5, they both won the state championship. It was like basketball one thing one year, like they both won it, so we bring it home. Us and New Kent should be no different. Like New Kent should want to beat us, we should want to beat New Kent, but if we win the single A state championship and New Kent win the 3, that's a win-win.
yeah. And the girls on the New Kent team actually love me and Coach
Yeah,
Logan.
yeah.
You know, we be in game mode, you know, they talking to us, but
Yeah.
everybody's cool.
And like I said, good kids. I mean,
Yeah, all
like,
the great kids on the New Kent team.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I got the Chuck City thing from one of the kids in New Kent back when probably 2012 when I coached a kid named Luke Meckman. And you know what I'm saying? He was like, man, you from Chuck City? Like I was like, Chuck City? He's like, yeah, man, you from Chuck City. So that's one of the things that we run with too over here now. And I think people, like I said, people in New Kent, they really appreciate it. That type of stuff. Yeah.
All right, as we wrap this up, guys, any final words?
But no, man, it's just pride, man. I think sometimes what I am with, sometimes I think, because I remember talking to a lady, and like me and Luke, sometimes they'll see us and they'll see, like probably even in the Verona League. So I don't know if you remember this situation, but like even in the Verona, we play basketball. For the most part, the reason why I'm like this, sometimes if you don't know me, I'm like you said, I'm in game mode. I want to have a sense of pride because I just want Charles City to have the same respect that everybody else has.
Exactly.
That's at the end of the day, they say, and I got to be the voice to advocate for these kids here.
Exactly.
So that's why we do what we do. Ain't nothing personal. Yes, I want to win. I don't care who you are. If you're looking at it, I don't care who you are. If I'm playing you, I want to beat you because I'm super competitive. Me and Luke play pickleball. There, it could be an elderly white woman playing pickleball.
That's the real Charles City for you. That's the real Charles City for you right here.
I want to
listen
win,
up, kids.
But it's all about respect too. At the end of the day, I would shake your hand.
Exactly.
If you beat me fair and square, I'm gonna have respect for you. But in that moment, like I just want the same respect because I've been places where just because we Charles City we showed, we felt like we got looked down upon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't just think because I'm from Charles City, I'm gonna be a pusher.
Are those days over? With
Them
you
days over
with you guys running things now, basically. You guys being the front of him, are those days over?
It still got to be more buy-in. We
Yeah,
working toward
yeah.
that point. It's not job done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Job not done.
Yeah.
But it's getting there. It's getting there, and it's going to be. It's going to have to take like how much are you going to take for you to start getting back up and fight back?
Exactly.
So we got to the point. I believe that now it's time to fight back to a standard. You got to have a program.
We're not going to speak on that. We're not going to speak on that, Coach.
That's it. You should.
He spoke on that. I guess the last basketball game played against the Kent. We're not going to speak on that.
Yeah, we'll take that another route.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
15 minutes.
But guys, again, I appreciate you, Coach Logan, Coach Luke. I'm Rob Johnson, Rob Johnson Media. Make sure you check us out. Make sure you support the programs. This has been episode 100 of Rob Johnson Sports Show. Episode 100, can y'all believe it? Y'all on episode 100.
That's what's
All right, like I said, I'll see you guys next time. Check out Rob Johnson Media on all social media platforms. Make sure you check out Legacy Maker Sports Network. And that's all I got for you. For Coach Logan, for Coach Luke, Rob Johnson. See y'all later.